To begin with, this is a normal stream in Sweden, and the fish swims upstreams to get to the spawning areas. And that is important for the fish to reproduce. Also, the whole ecosystem depends on this because many bugs lives by the water. Secondly, do you think the fish can get to the spawning areas when the humans have created this huge wall? Today there are about 2,100 hydropower plants in Sweden. This picture shows how a hydropower plant can drain a whole stream and destroy a whole ecosystem. However, 2% or less of this have functional passage for upstream and downstream migration of fish. That means for fish to swim by and reproduce. As we've spoken about before, that means 98% of hydropower plants is a holdback of migratory fish. 10% of the hydropower plants, the large scale, produce 90% of all hydroelectric energy. 90% of all hydropower is small scale and produce less than 10% of all hydropower. Therefore, small hydropowers destroy 10 times more than ecosystem scale. We can thus remove the small scale hydropowers with barely losing any electric at all and save the restore many ecosystems.
Hydropower is one of the main reasons for the eel and wild salmon and several other species to become endangered. Some species that are strongly affected by hydropower is other, dippers, kingfishers, salmon, trout, grayling, char, bugs, mussels, whitefish and a large number of plants and even benthos. Ecosystems along and in streams is one of the world's most endangered due to hydropower exploitation. About 80% of all streams are currently deployed with hydro. Just take a look at these pictures. Hydropower also affects the environment in the Baltic Sea, partly because it prevents vital minerals such as silicon to flow into the sea and partly by reducing the number of predatory fish, for example the egg from the salmon that are important for the Baltic Sea's ecological balance. Most of the hydropower plants in Sweden are conducted with permission from the 1918 water law. Less than 3% of all hydroelectric power has been tried under modern environmental laws. This is a picture of a hydropower plant. A. Reservoir. That's where the stream stops and you can build up water pressure. B. This is the so-called office. C. A turbine is rotating blades that gets a lot of pressure. This is also where all the fishes die. D. The generator transforms the turbine's pressure into energy. E. The intake of the water. F. Penstock is a tunnel that leads the water to the turbine. G. This is the long distance power lines where you lead the new energy to a power plant. H. This is where the river begins again. Finally, to the solution. We should remove all small hydropower plants and also create more wind turbines that is properly placed. They have a significantly lower environmental impact than hydropower. This also applies to solar photovoltaic, which today is down to competitive prices. Thank you so much for listening.